Wow, what a massive honour to be here. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for inviting me. Before I speak, I'm actually going to let the children that I work with speak for me. So we're just going to put on a very brief DVD just to give you a flavour about the Philippine Community Fund and what we do, and to let the children actually talk to you about their lives and what PCF means to them. I'm Jane. I'd like to tell you about PCF and what we do. The Philippine Community Fund, or PCF, was registered in 2002, and it was to help children and families who are living in dire poverty. Children as young as 3 years of age needed to look for pieces of plastic and metal to sell in the recycling industry. And families are living in makeshift shanties made out of second-hand pieces of wood. There's no running water, no sanitation, and often not even a safe electrical connection. Children quickly learn at a young age that life here is all about survival. Little point really of dreaming of a different life. PCF started its first school just 10 minutes away from this dump site in a dirty, derelict warehouse. But in 2010, we built a brand new school made out of recycled shipping container vans, and that has 800 students in its education programs, which benefits around about 4,500 family members. PCF educates children for 7 hours a day, feeds breakfast and lunch. They earn food rewards for academic achievements and school attendance, and this is sufficient reason to keep them off the dump site and keep them in school. We've developed a holistic approach to our work where we embrace both the physical and the spiritual needs. Our education programs are underpinned with a strong emphasis on values and the emotional and psychological development. Our feeding programs and our nutrition programs are enabling children and families to live healthier and longer lives. And our income generation projects are enabling parents to earn a sustainable income through an alternative livelihood. Our goals are enrolment to employment, and we're just getting the first batch of students from college and university, and they're gaining jobs, and this is enabling them to break the cycle of poverty, not just for themselves, but for their families as well.
I'm a social worker in PCF, and my job is to support the students and their families by working closely with the teachers and the healthcare departments. One of our students, Jessa, she used to be a waste picker in the dump site, but when she was 7 years old, she enrolled in PCF school. Jessa started ballet as an after-school activity that she really enjoys. None of us realized how natural she was, but in just 5 years, she's now performing in the most prestigious ballet company in Manila, performing regularly in the big stage and internationally.
What I like best at PCF is studying and activities we do in school. If I'm not in PCF, I will be working in the dump site with my family.
We are, of course, very proud of success stories like Jessa's, but the reality for most of the children coming to the PCF school is really somewhat different. Daily food shortages underpin the experience of families living within dump site communities, and for most, education is not even an option. Even for the children who attend PCF, they feel the need to contribute towards the family's income, and therefore working after school is not uncommon. PCF recognises this vulnerability and provides weekly food parcels for the children based on their attendance. We also have extracurricular classes to help the children develop their interests and also keep them away from the dump sites where they may be forced to work. Wincy has been with PCF now for 5 years. However, 3 years ago, his parents could no longer work, and Wincy started collecting waste after school. Currently, Wincy earns 100 pesos a day. That's just over £1 or $2. And even though that is supplemented with the food parcels given by PCF, there are many occasions when Wincy and his family still go hungry. Wincy is a member of the PCF choir. He loves to sing, and on many occasions he and the choir have performed at international schools and at corporate events around Manila. And despite all of the hardships and the difficulties he faces, Wincy is still very optimistic.
Nagbago po ang buhay ko dahil sa PCF. Dito na rin po ako natutong kumanta at dito po ako binigyan ng tulong sa aking pag-aaral at pati na rin po sa aking pamilya.
Wincy lives in the main dump site, adjacent to Manila's commercial port, but we also help other children in other squatter areas, such as the cemetery in nearby Navotas.
I'm here now in Navotas Cemetery, home for over 4,000 families that are living among the tombs of the dead. These families has no means of livelihood other than fishing in an over-polluted water or scavenging among their own waste. PCF transports more than 100 students every day from Navotas Cemetery going to PCF Container School. These children are among the least privileged students that without through PCF's help would have least chances of survival. One of our students, Kyla May, who is 12 years old but looked much younger than her age because of malnutrition that stunted her growth and affected severely her health. Kyla May was born with pneumonia and suffered a lot of life-threatening illnesses. Her father died in prison, and when her mother remarried, she was abandoned, and now she's living with her grandmother that is aged and living in a broken-down shanty. Her grandmother sends her to sell ice cream because she's unable to work. Kyla May is 12 years old, and even with her recurring life-threatening illnesses, she is still motivated and determined to finish her education.
Pag nakapagtapos po ako ng pag-aaral ay gusto pong maging teacher para po yung mga bata na hindi po marunong magsulat at magbasa para din po maabot din po ang kanilang pangarap at ang gusto ko naman po ay tulungan ko po si nanay para po pag ginawa na po yung aming bahay ay tutulungan ko po siya sa pag-aayos ng aming bahay. Yun lang po.
If you want to become more involved with PCF, there are many ways that you can help. Donate to our regular program through single donations or regular giving, take part in a fundraising event, sponsor a child or become a PCF advocate, or network PCF to a corporation, your Rotary club or church. Our children deserve a better future. Please help give them their hopes and their dreams. They're inspirational, aren't they? They're amazing children, and I remember the first day that I met two children. I was in the Philippines in '96. I was on a sabbatical from work, and I was very curious what squatter areas looked like. I jumped in a taxi and asked a taxi driver to take me to the worst squatter area he knew, and it was there that I saw two little boys dragging a hook and a sack, and I followed them onto this enormous dump site. And when I was on that dump site, I saw hundreds and thousands of children as young as 2 years of age. And it was the most overwhelming thing I think that I've ever seen. There were no other charities at that time working on the dump site. And these children were just filthy dirty in the heat. And the smiling faces were just really not there. And looking at these two little boys when they came and they stood in front of me, I had a sense of discernment or deja vu, whatever you would like to call it, but it was a feeling when I looked into their faces that I understood a little of how they felt, that they were trapped in a world that they couldn't escape from, that this was their whole life was spent working and living on this dump site with no chance of a better future or the opportunity to change it. It was strange because I was 33 when I was first on this dump site, and that feeling gave me a feeling that had reminded me of something of my own childhood when I was young. For completely different reasons, poverty had made these children feel trapped and helpless, and it was different reasons that made me feel like it when I was a child. But I was unable to escape the things that were happening to me. And at the age of 12, I tried to commit suicide because I couldn't cope anymore with the life that I was living. I understood a bit of that sense of feeling despair, not being able to change anything, and that feeling of hopelessness. And looking into these children's eyes, I wanted that to change. When I was 15, my parents asked me to leave home. They didn't want me anymore to be with them, and so I found myself propelled alone and needing to be able to support myself financially. The one thing that saved me was my education. Even though I didn't get to finish my secondary education or go on to further education, I had my basic schooling. And so I was able to get work, and I was able to pull myself up out of the situation that I was in. I've recently just come back from Boston. I was speaking on a child trafficking conference there and just launching America's first home for child trafficked children, for minors. And when they introduced me as a throwaway child. And it was a new terminology. I've been called many things, but a throwaway child was something that I hadn't heard before, and it got me thinking to how that kind of, that phrase was arranged. And I thought, yes, when you are propelled on the streets where you have no education or you have no future, people look at you as if there is no more hope for you. If you're begging on the streets and that's it, there is no future, there is no hope. And there wasn't anybody when I was younger giving me a helping hand. And when I looked at these two boys, I realized that there was nobody giving them a helping hand either. So what kind of person would it make me to turn around and look at these two boys and say to them that I hope life treats them well, and turn away and do nothing? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I became a Rotarian 8 years ago, because I see that Rotarians put their hand out and help others to change their own futures. And when I saw these children, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Although I didn't know how to do it at the time, I did spend time researching, and in 2002, PCF was registered as a charity in the UK and the Philippines, and is now the organisation that you have seen it to become. Rotary has helped shape PCF in many, many ways. Right from the very beginning of it becoming registered, Rotary money has been going into PCF in one way or another. It's helped build the school, it's helped develop libraries and clinics. In the very early days, it helped put school uniforms on the children and shoes on their feet. Just last year, we were given a school bus by the Guernsey Rotary clubs. We have benefited from literacy in the boxes, and a whole range of services and donations have helped build this charity. It's something that I would like Rotarians all over the globe to feel proud of, because it's a perfect example, I believe, of what can happen when people group together. We are stronger in our numbers than we are as individuals. And most definitely that can be seen here with the development of our programs. Our children's lives now are being changed. It was always risky when I started this, because I never knew for sure if the children would be able to have enough drive and ambition to be able to pull themselves from this kind of poverty. But now we're 12 years in, and I see that the children are doing it, and our children are going on to become architects and engineers, and they're going into professions that we would be proud to see our own children go in. And it's all thanks to their ability to be able to stick at their education and see the opportunities available to them and make the most of them. So I'm really glad that you got to see three of our students that were really making a difference to their own lives. There are many ways that Rotary can help, and I'm very proud that Rotary has continued to support PCF, and I certainly do not feel ashamed standing up here today and asking you for further support to take us on to our next step, to keep us educating more children and to making sure that children do not have to work on these dump sites. There are several projects that we are now looking to be funded, and we're looking for partners. One of these are, we have a solar panel project. We already have 29 solar panels, but we're looking to put more on. £30,000 will mean that our entire school building will be given over to solar energy, and any surplus will go into the grid. Just like in Britain, we'll get a small amount of money back. It will save us £7,000 a year in electricity. We need 2 more school buses because we've enrolled more school children this year, and we need to transport them around safely from the dump site. And we have a global grant application in with literacy in the box. And if anybody would like to contribute to that, they can make a pledge on the RBI international stand at the end of the conference today, or they can do that on the Literacy in the Box website. There are many other projects, and our stand is moved. We were in the House of Friendship, but we've now moved just to the escalators outside of this room. If you'd like to come and see us, we can give you an information pack of how you could further partner with us. I am also available, along with my staff, to come to your club and talk to you a little bit more. Because obviously we have 19 minutes today to talk to you about this work, and if you would like to hear more about it and you'd like us to talk to your club, then certainly please come and see us at our stand, talk about when one of us can come and be a speaker for you at one of your clubs. We would love to do that. It's a great honour to be part of Rotary. My Rotary club is Makati Nelson in Manila. And so I must say greetings from my club to all of you. I absolutely do not have 200 or 300 flags out there to give to you, but if you can imagine an imaginary flag, I'm giving you all of one of them from our clubs. So just thank you very much, all of you. We really do appreciate your support. There are many of you in the room I know that already know about our work, and there are new people that haven't heard about it. I hope you all go away and feel proud that this is a part of a Rotary project, and we're very proud to be part of it. Thank you.